We don't need you here anymore. Go away. You're just leeching off us while you work from home. Even my sister agrees, and now my parents are saying the same thing. They're all fed up with me and my dog, treating us like we're a bother. Well, if that's how they want to act, then I'll do whatever I want. My name is Amelia. I'm 29 years old and I'm single. I work as a freelance web designer. My job is easy. All I need is my laptop, so I don't have to leave home to work. I have a little corner in my house where I do my work and I set my own pace. But then, about 3 years ago, my parents started intruding on my space. One day, while I was working at home, my parents showed up. They barged in like they owned the place and started talking about how big my house was. They even suggested they could move in with me, taking over my space without even asking me. I had no intention of living with them, and I told them so, but they didn't listen. My dad got all worked up, accusing me of trying to take over the house that my uncle had given to me. He said I was being selfish and trying to claim something that wasn't mine. But the truth is, my uncle had given me this house because he cared about me, not because I was trying to steal it. My parents said their old house was falling apart, and they couldn't afford to fix it up. So, they decided they would just move in with me instead. I didn't like the idea, but they had already made up their minds, and I didn't want to leave them homeless. So, reluctantly, I agreed to let them move in. But as soon as they got settled in, they started making snide remarks about my life. They kept asking me why I wasn't married yet, as if it was any of their business. It felt like they were constantly judging me, and it made me feel even more frustrated and angry. I'm really enjoying my work right now. But my parents just kept on talking, saying things like, "If you keep talking like that, you'll never get married. Why don't you learn something from your sister?" Well, the thing is, my sister's married life isn't exactly going smoothly, is it? Anyway, I'm okay with being single for now. Then, out of nowhere, my mother chimed in, interrupting the conversation. She said, "Hey, don't badmouth your sister like that. Unlike you, she's married and she even works for a company, you know." Well, it's true I'm not married, but I'm doing pretty well for myself too. But then, my mother accused me of making money through shady means, just because I work from home. Can you believe that? I mean, I'm making an honest living doing legitimate work. But apparently, talking back to my mother wasn't acceptable. She scolded me, saying I was the complete opposite of my sister. And that's how it always was in our family, constant comparisons between me and my sister. Sure, my sister works for a company, but she's just a temp in an office job. I'm not looking down on her, but the truth is, I earn more than she does. It's just that our parents' generation doesn't quite understand the concept of working from home, but it still hurt to be constantly belittled like that. Then, one day, as I was preparing dinner, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. To my surprise, it was my sister Sophia, burdened with a huge amount of luggage. I was puzzled and asked her what was going on. She casually said she'll be living in the house from that day onwards. I was taken aback and said, "Huh? What about me? If Uncle was going to give this house to someone, he should have given it to me." But Sophia just brushed it off, saying she got divorced and needed a place to stay. My parents hadn't even bothered to tell me about this. And just like that, my sister moved in, and my stress level skyrocketed. Sophia had quit her job after her divorce, spending her days gossiping about me with our mother. They were always in cahoots, praising each other and ignoring me. My mother would gush over Sophia's dress, saying how pretty she looked, while completely disregarding me. It felt like I was invisible in my own home. "Hey, do you think Amelia would wear something like this? It's totally not her style, right?" Yeah, Amelia's always been a bit plain. That's probably why she can't seem to get hired anywhere. All she does is play online at home. Mom, you can't just say stuff like that. As I busied myself preparing dinner, their conversations stung my ears. I wanted to fire back with a sharp retort, but I knew that's exactly what they were hoping for. So, I chose to swallow my pride and endure their words in silence. Day after day, I lived with their constant criticism without showing any reaction. Then, one day, a friend of mine had a litter of 4 adorable puppies. I couldn't resist and decided to adopt one of them. I named him Muffin. He's a tiny black chihuahua with the most endearing round eyes. Whenever he looks at me, his tail wags so hard it's like it might fall off. Owning a chihuahua had been a childhood dream of mine. Working from home could be lonely, so I thought Muffin could provide some much-needed companionship. From today onwards, you're Muffin, okay? I said, and he let out a little woof in response. I didn't bother consulting my family before bringing Muffin home. After all, this is my house, and I'll be the one bearing all the expenses for him. So, why should they have any say in the matter? But as expected, my parents and Sophia weren't too pleased. We didn't hear anything about you getting a dog. Yeah, and dogs smell, don't they? I can't stand odors. Amelia, how could you just bring a dog home without consulting us? We didn't approve of this. I calmly responded, firstly, I didn't pick him up off the street. A friend gave him to me. And secondly, I'll be the one taking care of all of Muffin's expenses, so there shouldn't be any issues. What I choose to have in my house is my business. If you're not happy, you're free to leave. Initially, they protested vehemently, their faces flushed with anger. But within just a few hours, they were completely smitten by Muffin's cuteness. They began cooing over him, showering him with affection. It was as if their anger from just moments ago had vanished into thin air. My whole family was utterly captivated by Muffin's charm. Since then, they were constantly fussing over Muffin. Thanks to this newfound focus on our furry friend, their hostility towards me had lessened, and I was able to enjoy relatively calm days. But one day, an event shattered this tranquility. While I was out running an errand, I received a frantic call from my sister, Sophia. "Hello, come back home now," she shouted suddenly. Confused by her urgency, I asked her what happened. She vented her anger, shouting back at me, "It's not what happened, it's what Muffin did. He did his business on my clothes. What if they smell?" I tried to calm her down, saying, "Oh, just wash it quickly and it'll be fine. And isn't it your fault for leaving your clothes all over the floor?" But Sophia wasn't having it. "What? It's my fault? It's your poorly trained dog to blame." "Enough, Sophia. Muffin is still a puppy. If you take him out for a walk, he won't do his business at home. You said you were excited to walk Muffin today. Did you actually take him?" Sophia stumbled over her words. "Well, I was going to take him later." As expected, when I got home, Sophia was extremely angry. Both my parents had been informed, and they were glaring at me, standing with Sophia. Sophia threw the soiled clothes at me and started freaking out again. "I'm going to charge you for the cleaning cost, okay?" she demanded. "Why should I?" "It's because you didn't take him for a walk and left your clothes thrown on the floor," I retorted. "Shut up. Don't talk back. It's because you brought this stupid dog home that this happened. What are you going to do about it?" Feeling hurt by her harsh words, I defended Muffin, saying, "He's just a puppy. You were quite fond of him before. Isn't it harsh to call him a stupid dog just because he had a little accident?" But my parents chimed in, siding with Sophia. "Hey, Amelia, shouldn't you at least apologize to Sophia first?" "That's right. All of this happened because of that Muffin you brought home," they agreed. Frustrated by their lack of understanding, I said, "Can't you forgive puppies for making mistakes once in a while? They're like babies." But my family didn't seem to see it that way. "Pathetic. This situation only happened because of this stupid dog," they concluded. "Amelia, you made the right choice by not getting married. If you became a mother, I doubt you'd raise a decent child." "What? How dare you say something like that? If you took Muffin for walks properly and kept the house tidy, none of this would have happened," I protested, feeling the sting of my sister's accusations. Finally, my sister raised her eyebrow and pointed at me, saying, "I can't take it anymore. I don't need you or this dumb dog. Get out of this house." I was taken aback. "What? Didn't you hear me? I said get out. We don't need a homeworking freeloader here." A homeworking freeloader? How can someone who's currently jobless say such a thing? And who do they think is paying for this household's expenses? "It's me," I retorted, feeling the frustration boiling inside me. But my sister's outrage didn't stop there. Even my parents chimed in, echoing her sentiments. "That's right, Amelia. Leave this house. Your presence only makes us feel worse. You're a jinx," they said in unison. Their repeated demands to leave left me seething with anger. "That's it. I've reached my limit. If this is how it's going to be, just wait," I exclaimed, feeling a surge of determination. I, who had decided to take revenge on my family, packed my things and left the house with Muffin. But my sister couldn't resist adding fuel to the fire. "This is all your fault, you know. If you had just listened to me obediently, none of this would have happened," she sneered. They still didn't seem to understand their own situation, even though they were headed for trouble. "Well, never mind. You three enjoy yourselves in the house," I thought to myself, suppressing a grin as I left with Muffin. A few days later, as expected, my sister suddenly called me. "Amelia, help. The house." What happened to the house all of a sudden? Why were we told to leave by the end of this month? I demanded to know. So what's the problem?" I continued. "What do you mean, what's the problem? Why do we have to leave?" Sophia exclaimed, her voice trembling. "Well, I've decided to sell the house," I calmly stated. At my words, Sophia seemed to freeze, her voice barely audible as she asked, "What? What does that mean? You've decided to sell it? You don't have the authority." "Well, I do. You see, that house has been mine for a month now," I revealed. "What? How? What do you mean?" Sophia stuttered in disbelief. "Yes, I officially received the house from my uncle. Of course, the title is in my name." It's no surprise that Sophia was shocked. I hadn't told anyone about this. You're kidding, right? Even if the title was transferred to you by uncle, you can't just sell it so easily," Sophia protested. I nodded calmly. I was worried too. "But right after you told me to leave, I consulted with uncle. He said the house is yours now, Amelia. Do what you want. You should get away from that stupid family as soon as possible." "What? No way," Sophia exclaimed, clearly taken aback. Whether they had been listening to my conversation with Sophia over the phone speaker or not, my parents started to make a fuss. "Hey, Amelia, cut it out. We have no other place to live if we leave the house." "That's right. It's unthinkable to do this to your own family. If you're a good daughter, show some respect to your parents," they chimed in. "Respect?" I asked them with a quiet voice. "What are you talking about? You've always looked down on me compared to Sophia. Who do you think has been supporting your life for the past few years? You all had nowhere to live, so I reluctantly let you all live with me." With an unusually strong tone, my parents were at a loss for words. Without waiting for a response, I continued. "Who treated me and Muffin like nuisances and kicked us out? It was you guys, wasn't it? Trying to be happy by driving out the original resident is shameless. You people belong to hell." At my outburst, my father begged, "Please help us. We're sorry." "I don't care. Fend for yourselves, you idiots," I snapped, cutting off the call with a loud click. Next, I blocked every family member's contacts. Seeing me raise my voice, Muffin looked up at me with a worried woof. I held Muffin close, apologizing for shouting. "It's all right now. I will protect you." I'm really glad that I was able to get Muffin away from that family that treated him so poorly. Later on, it seems my parents and sister were forced to move out of the house at the last minute, despite their desperate clinging. With my father's meager income and my unemployed mother and sister, there's no way they can lead a decent life. According to the rumors, my sister is constantly being nagged by my parents to get a job. Their family relationships seem to be deteriorating by the day. Although I have no interest in how they live, there's no doubt that their standard of living has plummeted since I left. This is indeed the case of reaping what you sow. Serves them right. Meanwhile, I'm spending my days in fulfillment with my beloved dog in a new pet-friendly apartment. I can work whenever I want, and no one can complain about it anymore. I can use my earnings solely for myself and my dog. I am extremely happy with my life now. Muffin, let's go to the dog park today, I said, feeling a newfound sense of freedom. Muffin seemed more lively. Maybe it's because that noisy family is gone. From now on, I want to protect Muffin for the rest of my life and lead a peaceful life. As I settled into my new life in the pet-friendly apartment, I found myself relishing the freedom and tranquility that had eluded me for so long. With Muffin by my side, every day felt like a new adventure filled with joy and contentment. I spent my mornings working on my freelance projects, basking in the flexibility that allowed me to tailor my schedule to suit my preferences. No longer did I have to endure the constant criticisms and comparisons from my family. Instead, I could focus on honing my skills and pursuing my passions without interference. In the afternoons, Muffin and I would explore the nearby parks and trails, reveling in the sights and sounds of nature. With each passing day, our bond grew stronger, and I found solace in the unconditional love and companionship that Muffin provided. But amidst the tranquility of my new life, I couldn't shake the lingering feelings of resentment towards my family for their callous treatment. Despite their attempts to reach out and reconcile, I remained steadfast in my decision to maintain distance and protect my newfound sense of peace. As weeks turned into months, I found myself thriving in my independence, embracing the opportunities and challenges that came my way. With Muffin by my side, I felt unstoppable, ready to face whatever the future held with courage and determination. And though I occasionally wondered about the fate of my family, I knew that my priority was to focus on building a happy and fulfilling life for myself and Muffin. With each passing day, I grew more confident in my abilities and more grateful for the newfound freedom that I had fought so hard to attain. In the end, I realized that sometimes the greatest victories come from letting go of toxic relationships and embracing the journey towards self-discovery and fulfillment. And as I looked towards the horizon, I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, I would face them head-on with Muffin by my side, ready to seize the opportunities that awaited us.